Hey guys, in today's episode of the Trading Coach Podcast, I'm going to share with you one of our accountability session interviews where we talk to a newer trader who initially got into trading because he was looking for a better way to structure his money and is currently dealing with the obstacle of how do I structure my time so that I can learn efficiently and effectively. Before we get into it, make sure to do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channel, just YouTube Akil Stokes, weekly videos, lots of them for you, and I hope you enjoyed today's interview.
Let's kick off then. So Peter, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Good. I'm not bad. So just quickly, for people who haven't had the privilege of having a chat with you or anything, let us know a little bit about who you are.
So yeah, I'm Peter. I'm 41. I stay up in Scotland, just up in the northeast, just in between Aberdeen and Dundee. Married for 9 years. 9 years. 2 kids, 2 boys. I'm currently I'm in the oil and gas industry, working for Shell UK as an asset planner. Basically, I plan the operations for some of the offshore installations. Cool. Kind of life revolves around them, and
Great. What made you get into? How did you get into trading?
So through yourself. You're the main reason. I'm not going to lie. It's not something that I'd really looked into too much until starting the TOF Pro program.
Mm-hmm.
So starting TOF ground up, it's been amazing. I was never that bad with money. I always had it, just never really knew what should be doing with it. It's always in one bank account. There was always enough to spend on holidays, things like that. But from doing the TOF Pro program, getting my bank account structured, getting my buffer in place, that's something I'd never had. And then working up through the tiers, started to invest a little now. So I've got monthly direct debits going into my Vanguard account. So that's kind of taken care of. A little bit of stock picking. We've got property on the side as well, so that's my I try and give that some focus as well. And then once I was sort of comfortable with all that, up to the tier 1 in TOF, and then got the little taster for it there. And it's something I'd been from starting with TOF and hearing about it, hearing a couple of friends speak about it, rather than just diving straight in. I thought, no, this is perfect. This is just going to give me, TOF just gave me put me in the right headspace to, do I really want it? Is it something that I really want to go? And it was just, it was ideal doing TOF, and then I signed up to tier 1 in August. And
perfect. So you came down for my birthday, right?
Yeah.
So
Andrew came down and.
Yeah, I met you a couple of weeks back, which was great. You flew down from Scotland, which is cool. You got to meet a load of great people, all the great community.
Oh, it was
there
amazing.
as well.
Yeah, and that's what, obviously you got people asking, some friends that aren't aware of TOF and trading and why are you going down, and trying to explain it. And what I got from that, just that one night, and yes, it's an expense, but flying down for a few hours, and then we were away again on the Sunday morning. But meeting the likes of like Naomi and Dion and George and Orsi, it was excellent. Just putting faces to names through the community, and all really helpful. Hopefully I tried to remember as much of what they were saying. Yeah, there's a couple of beers had. So yeah,
that's the challenge.
Yeah, I know. I purposely went down saying I'm not going to get drunk. I'm not going to do this, and I want to. It's a get to know you. It's we're going to go and celebrate Jason getting old. But I just wanted to speak to the guys and girls, and you got so much from that. It was excellent. It's really good.
Amazing. So how have you felt? Where are you in tier 1 now? Like what are you working on?
So I'm currently in the foundation module, just taking, I say so long, but I'm purposely just taking, I'm on the first foundation model, so this module, the study of price action. I had a call I reached out to Nicky Morris, who I kind of recognised the name from starting TOF around about the same sort of time as me. I thought, right, I'll cold call him. I'll reach out. There's a couple of questions I had, and he couldn't have been any nicer. Just set up a call with me. We had a Zoom. He just reiterated the fact and what everybody's been saying, what Naomi says in her podcasts, and just take your time on that. Yeah, and I've purposely, and if it wasn't for that, I think I probably would have still taken a bit of time. But if it wasn't for Nikki just reiterating that, just take your time there, I probably wouldn't have taken quite so long on it. And yeah, I mean, I'm only where am I just now? Defining the trends and violations and identifying and defining. And yeah, so it's taken a little bit of time, but I just feel, because I write so much down, and I can't just, I've done that in the past. I've skipped through, whether that be school education or work education, skip through it, and you get to the end and yeah, you need to go back. So no, I'm not one to do that. So yeah, I'm just taking my time through it, just trying to learn it as much as what I've been through some of the accountability sessions before, and everybody just says exactly the same. Just keen just to learn the process, and this is treat it like a business, as you rightly say. And
honestly, I think not rushing is the biggest challenge that we have in trading, because it's typically something that people want quick, so they go into it with a quick kind of. Especially with everything today, where we've got everything accessible, and we can get what we want pretty much within minutes. And I think when trading's advertised to us and we see the rewards, we think that we can go about it in a very quick, quick way. And there is no quick way. So I think that's the most important message. Take your time, because if you don't and you don't listen, you're not. It's going to take you much longer, and it's going to cost you a lot more money. And
I think with the back test and with that taking so long, I don't want to get to that stage and have to go back again. And,
no.
And that's what I'm trying to structure my week, because it is quite difficult. I've got the kids, I work a 9 to 5, albeit it's from home, so I don't have the travel right now. Once I maybe go back in the office, I might have that travel time, so I might lose the study time in the morning. So it's trying to structure around that, and that's what I'm trying to do. Maybe like on a Sunday, is to go back and review what I've learned over the week. And if it's 3 hours worth of work, then that I need to go back and review, then so be it. If it's 10 hours, then so be it. It's just, so that's what I'm trying to do, trying to get in my head and trying to structure my week properly. So I either have a couple of late nights or a couple of early mornings. Because I think just now I'm trying to say, okay, I'm getting up at 5. I'm going to try and do a couple of hours before the kids get up. The dog needs walked. But some mornings some mornings it's possible. Some mornings it's not. So that's why I'd maybe like to say that just make some nights a late night, and like what I suppose your history with learning, make a couple of nights a week, working till midnight 1, and then having that longer light of 7 in the morning. And just instead of, I don't know, I'm just trying to find the balance right now. It is difficult, but I know I've given myself.
So what have you done about that? Like, what are you doing at the moment then?
So right now, right now I get up every morning. It's around, I say 5. It's probably about 5:30. I try and study for an hour and a half. 7 o'clock's kind of the time that my the dog needs walked and the kids are starting to rise and breakfast time. And so yeah, I'm trying to get an hour and a half every morning. It's the weekends though that are letting me down. Not the fact that I'm a party animal, I don't really drink. It's just the weekends of where I'm not as strict, and I need to be a lot stricter with myself and say the weekends are still study days. And my wife's on board with that. It's just me. I need to be better at it, not just thinking it's a day off, because it's not a day off. If I want this to happen, I'm not looking for this to be done in a year, 2 years. I've given myself 4 or 5 years for this for me to get to the live trading.
I think to break something like a mindset of the weekend, it's been so indoctrinated into us of weekend thinking. It's very hard to kind of merge it into what like to treat it as a normal day. And I can tell you, like for me, even though I haven't had work for years and years and years, and even though my kids don't go to school, my eldest son's now working. My wife don't go to, my wife doesn't have, she works from home as well. So even with us, it's taken quite a few years to get your head around. Saturday's just the same as Sunday. Sunday's just the same as Monday. It really does take a long time because it's almost evolutional to us, like from how we've been brought up. So I get that, and it is a tough one. It is a tough one to break, but it's just you just keep working on it. Get the habits and the routines in there, and then they're non-negotiable. Then right, it's like I do this on a Saturday morning, and I can have the rest of the Saturday, or I do this on a Sunday afternoon, and I can have the rest of the Sunday. And it's kind of putting those in place so that you make sure that you are making progress. Because there's a lot of progress to be made in the weekend, especially if you have got other jobs or businesses. So it's it's a crying shame if you don't make the most of them, but then it's hard to make the most of them unless you get those habits in place.
No, definitely. We just spoke about it last night actually, and there isn't an excuse for me not to do it. And there's 24 hours in a day. An hour is not, it's nothing. I can get up. I'm an early riser anyway. You get up and get the dog walked, and as I say, my wife's on board. She's slowly starting to come on board with all this. So I've got to treat it like a degree. And if I was studying a degree, then nobody would bat an eyelid if I was saying, okay, I've got to study for an hour.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, eh? So what are you, what is there anything any position you'd like to be in by the end of the year, like in progress wise, in anything in your life?
I think, well, with the trading, I've given myself to the end of the year to finish the foundation.
Okay, cool.
And if I finish that before it, brilliant. But I'm trying to have realistic goals right now. I'm going through a redundancy process. I'm actually finishing up at Shell in February. So right now there's a lot of handovers to be done. I'm currently in a sort of, I've taken a step back from the planning role. I'm in a coaching role with colleagues based in India. So yeah, it's a little bit full on just now with different time zones and trying to fit that all in just now. So that I'm trying not to let that get in the way too much. And my work's given me this sort of an unofficial okay for me. If I'm wanting to do anything out with, then I can take an hour or two away. So I'm trying to use my days. I'm trying to structure. If I've got a free hour, I will try and do trading, but I'm trying to just get my work done and concentrate out with. If I can get anything else, then that's a bonus. So yeah, the end of the year for the foundation module, just the first one that I'm on, the study of price action, not bridging the gap as well. And then in the new year, move on to the next module.
Great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think,
and then
I'm just applying for new jobs.
Yeah. So what's lastly then, what's the bigger plan? Where do you see yourself? Like, what would be your ideal scenario? You don't have to be detailed, but like what would be your ideal kind of scenario in your life?
So I do want to do this. I would love to be in a position to do this full time. Right. I'm in the process of, we've got a couple of properties that the original goal was to rent them out. I'm now in the process of looking at changing the mortgage slightly and trying to pay them off and it's not the one bed flats that we've got in Scotland. So yeah, it's not the same sort of values as down your ways, but they'll go a hell of a long way to funding an account. So that's in the background, just trying to chip away at them and have the money available. And as I say, that's not an overnight. That'll take me 4 or 5 years to probably chip away at them. But I want to be in a position that in 5 years' time, if I want to do this full time, then I'm 80% there with the funding, with the capital. Amazing. And if I have to do it on the side, then that's not a problem. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. But the end goal is to do it full time and free up.
Is there
I want
anything
free
that
time
you
to do.
think would could potentially get in your way? Like, what's the biggest fear or setback
Right
or
now, it's
thorn in your
just
side?
trying. Yeah, right now it's just the time that I need to allocate it. I am used to asking a lot of questions, so that's something that I'm not struggling with. But yeah, there's the new Facebook group that Naomi and George and Osha have set up. There's also this, the community. It's just trying to work out how I go about asking the hundreds of questions that I seem to write down on a daily basis. It's
Yeah.
whether so that's probably why I'm taking a little bit longer, that I'm going back and I'm watching the videos and the modules over and over again to try and answer the question first before reaching out. So yeah, that's just something that's, because you're doing it on your own, you're not in a classroom, you can't just ask a lecturer or the guy sitting next to you. So that's taking a little bit of time just to try and get
Cool.
used to.
Yeah.
Job wise, I think job wise, it's just trying to balance as well. New job potentially come the start of next year.
There's always a balance like that you need to maintain, and one of the biggest struggles I see is there is a fine line between kind of being productive and making progress and then getting caught up in, like, listening to podcasts, all that kind of stuff. And I think there's definitely a benefit to doing it, but just make sure that you understand that listening to a podcast isn't progress in your journey. It's encouraging you and helping you along the way, but it's not doing the work. And what I find sometimes is few people they start going off listening to the podcast just to make them believe that they're still in it. But what they're really doing is avoiding the actual work that they need to do because they're putting it off. They don't really want to do it. So being aware of that as well, right?
Yeah, and I found that I can't really listen to a podcast during work because I can't concentrate on that and do my work at the same time, whether that's training or my day job. Yeah, it has to be music, or I can't have the podcast playing. I tried it for a couple of months, I think, with your one, and you just get so engrossed in it that all of a sudden an hour's passed and you're like, oh, well, I've not done any of my day job, and the productivity goes out the window.
Yeah, no, it's so easy to do as well. All right. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you coming on and letting us know a bit about your plans and your goals. I'd love to catch up in the new year just to see kind of maybe in, I don't know, February or something, just to see where you're at.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That'd be
cool.
That
I've done this. This is obviously been on the to-do list, but I needed to get this out of the way, get the first one done. And
it's good. Like you'll find tomorrow that you'll feel a little bit more, let's do it. And and if you can book in straight away from now in your next one in February, then at least you know that you've got that, and that'll keep you going as well.
Cool. Yeah.
Amazing. Magic. Yeah, all right, Peter, thanks very much. And cheers again for coming down from Scotland.
No worries. Hopefully we get another one soon.
Yeah, there will be, I'm sure. So thanks very much, mate, and have a great weekend.
Right. Cheers.
Take care. All right, that was Peter. If any of you guys want to book in for one of these sessions, I highly recommend you do, and you won't regret it. And if you want to go and watch a recording of this, if you've just popped in just now, the recording will be up later. It'll probably be tomorrow now, so the recording will be in the platform tomorrow, so you can go and catch that. Naomi says, even with the course videos, spend 90% of the time practicing, 10% of the time note-taking. Yep, that's it. It's like anything. I just want to say lastly on that note, whether you're learning to ride a motorbike, learning to play a guitar, learning to play golf, learning anything, you can sit there and watch as many YouTube videos as you like, but you get better when you go and do it. Like when you ride the bike, when you play the guitar, when you do the thing, when you swing the golf club, you just get better by doing that. Repetition, practice, and you'll get there. But what it really boils down to is you have to actually do the work. There's no amount of watching the YouTube is going to make you a better trader. And it's I know that it sounds counterintuitive, but it isn't. And it's the difference between a train spotter and a train driver, right? A train spotter knows everything about the train, probably more than the train driver, but they couldn't drive a train. The train driver can drive the train. So the train driver gets the 45, 50 grand a year, the train spotter gets nothing. And that's the difference. So with that said, I want to wish you a great weekend. Whatever it is you're doing for your own accountability this weekend, go and smash it. And until then, have a great rest of your day and weekend. And we'll see you at Ascension starting Monday. So take care and see you then.
Hope you enjoyed the episode. The Ascension workshop that Jason mentioned at the very end has been completed. So if you missed it, sorry, but don't worry. We do have workshops and webinars available on our website, www.tier1trading.com. They are available with your 14-day trial membership, along with access to our live trading rooms, downloadable software, the community chat, courses, and lots of other stuff. So head over to www.tier1trading.com, start your 14-day trial membership today, and I'll see you guys over on the site.